Hey, we good? Can you hear me? Never a dull moment. Hey, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy quarantine. And it feels like the perfect time to start raising money for a really great cause, Doctors Without Borders. So, full disclosure, we are not quite at 10,000 subscribers yet. We're about 50 short, but that's okay. This could be the almost 10,000 celebration and charity fundraiser live stream. So, there you go. The link to donate is in the description, and also my mod is going to paste it periodically in the chat so you guys can get it. Let's see what else. We've got some goals set up, and they're going to cycle through on the screen there periodically. So for every goal we reach in the fundraising, I will do something or share something or something like that. The first couple are pretty easy, reading Green Eggs and Ham, reading my favorite poem. Then they start getting a little more interesting, and the goal for the day is $500. If we can reach that, I will be super happy and super excited. If we reach 1,000, though, there is bonus vampire roommate content in it for you. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I hope we have a good time. And if you have questions, please feel free, because that is how we are going to fill the time. There's a little Q&A and whatever you guys want to know, and as we hit those goals, we will do stuff. So periodically is not that big a word. And I will be monitoring the donations from here. Let me pull that up. And I will keep you guys posted as we hit milestones, as we hit, different rewards, things like that. So let's see. Cool. Okay. All right. So let's see. What is my favorite ASMR video? Like ever? I presume you don't mean my own, right? You mean like any ASMR video ever? Oh God, that's really hard to pick. I love most anything that Gentle Whispering does. Maria, she's the queen. She's amazing. I'm not sure I've ever heard the end of any of her videos, ever, because I will be asleep in the first 10 minutes, and that's cool. That's fine. That's the point. I really like one she did with event planning, where she shows you a table with like flatware and plates and different like centerpieces, and then she shows you fabric samples, and the whole thing is just so like, I like planning parties anyway. So it's a very, very good, very, very good audio. Do I have any pets? Yes, I have dogs and I have a cat. Several dogs and one cat who weighs enough to equal a dog. I have the fattest cat on earth, and I don't know why. I don't feed him too much, I don't think. I think it's just a matter of inertia. He doesn't move. So all the calories he ingests just stay there. How am I doing today? I'm well. I'm doing pretty well today. The sun is out, and the birds are singing, and as long as we're all staying healthy and washing our hands a lot, I think I think it's a pretty good day. What should we call you? Yeah, just call me Ree. That's one of my nicknames, and it's the one that tends to be used by my friends, so that works pretty well. Doctors Without Diplomas. That sounds dicey. It sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. What inspired me to make the Vampire Roommate series? Honestly, a couple of things. Okay, so my channel was brand new at the time. I think I'd only been doing it like a month. And I wrote that script on a road trip. And when I got back from the road trip, I sat down and recorded it and just knocked it out. And then I was pretty slow to edit back then. I wasn't sure what I was doing, so it took me like a solid 3 hours to edit that thing. But I think what motivated me to do it at first was I was listening to a live stream by a different VA guy, and somebody asked him, like, if you wanted to start doing this and you wanted to be popular at it, like, what's a good character to play? And he said, Yandere Vampire. Like, no question, do that one, Yandere Vampire. And I thought that was funny at first, but the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, I kind of get it. You know, vampires have some universal appeal, but I'm not really like a yandere type. That doesn't do much for me. So I was thinking, what could I do that would be more interesting? And initially, that was just going to be a one-off friends to lovers roommate, except she's a vampire, which I like. I like taking, you know, a supernatural element and putting it in a mundane setting. I love that. Just like the house dragon. Like, if you were just a regular person who happened to have a pet that was a dragon, that's what it would be like. So for the vampire roommate, it was just a friends to lovers roommate scenario where one character happens to be a vampire, and ended up being so ridiculously popular that now it's, you know, become a saga, and there's much more to it than I initially had planned. But it's been really fun to explore and fun to world build around that and kind of see where it goes. And I plan, you know, some of the world building I've got planned out way in advance, and some I kind of, you know, go as I go and see how it unfolds in my head as I'm writing it. So, but that's really where the idea came from, was just, you know, yay vampires, but then what can I do that'll make it not yandere, and but also interesting, and maybe get a few ears to listen to, and that ended up being really effective. Let's see what else. Wood tapping. Panic buying, yeah. Of course, you know, the grocery store is sold out of toilet paper and hand sanitizer and all that stuff, and I think we're pretty well stocked up, but it infuriates me to see people buying pallets of these things and then trying to resell them out of parking lots or on Amazon. I love that picture of the guy in the New York Times story who drove around, I think it was Tennessee, and bought like everything he could find with the intent to gouge on Amazon, and Amazon shut him down, and he's all crabby now because he has a garage full of stuff. And it's like, dude, you're the worst kind of person. Like, there are people out there who genuinely need those supplies, and you're hoarding them so you can make a buck, and that's like, there's a special place in hell for you. But the picture of, you know, pouty guy who can't unload his stock was karmic, to say the least. Do I do these videos full time? No, this is not my job. This is a hobby. I mean, someday it'd be fun to have this be my job, but, you know, for now it's just something I do on the side, and I really like it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Do I have an Instagram account? Technically, I have an Instagram account, but there's like a picture of my cat on it, and that's about it, because, you know, I do voice. I don't do image. So I don't have a lot of things to take pictures of. I mean, I guess I could just post pictures of my microphone in various places. Like, I could take it to the beach, or I could take it to, you know, the park and be like, there we are, me and my mic. But, nah, I mean, Instagram is such a photo-centric, you know, image-centric platform, and that's just like the opposite of what I do. So, Ree is R-E-E. That's how I spell it. I mean, no, it's my nickname. I guess I get to decide. What up with the crab? Okay. The crab is Arthur. And the picture that's been cycling through that has Arthur in it, after one of the hurricanes that we had, I went down to the beach and saw this little crab sitting there, and he didn't run away when I walked up to him, and he was fine. He was just sitting there. And so I got down on the ground and took a picture of him, and I just thought he was the cutest thing I'd ever seen. I think he's a ghost crab. I think that's the species he is. But yeah, I just thought he was adorable, and for some reason I just kind of attached myself to him, and I just liked him. I gave him a little name, and I mean, I didn't take him with me. I left him on the beach, but in my head his name was Arthur. And so when I started the channel, I was looking for a picture in my, you know, collection of pictures that I could use as just a thumbnail. And I found that picture of Arthur, and I thought, well, that's pretty soothing. You know, that's a nice picture. And then after like 2 audios, realized that no one's going to get this. Like these are not audios about the beach. So using the beach picture makes no sense. But, you know, initially it was just because it was soothing and I just liked the crab. So I kept him. I cut him out of the picture and stuck him on my logo. So now that's why there's a crab there. And he's the reminiscent of like the first week of this channel when I just had no idea what I was doing. So, hello there. Hello there. Did we already reach the first stretch goal? I was just about to go check. Oh, y'all are beautiful. Holy crap. Guys. Oh. You're gonna make me cry. Okay, give me a second. I'm composing myself. Okay. All right. Deep breaths. Okay. You guys are amazing. I'm so excited. I thought it might take most of the time to reach that much for Doctors Without Borders, and I'm not gonna cry. I swear to God, I'm not gonna cry. Okay, all right. Wow. You guys are so amazing. Okay. All right, back to business. It's super serious stuff here now. Okay, so I guess I need to read Green Eggs and Ham to start with, and then we'll get back to the questions. So hang on one second. All right. Okay, I got it. Got my book. Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. If there's anyone on the planet who has not heard this yet, you're in for a treat. So, okay. That Sam I am, that Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you eat them in a box? Would you eat them with a fox? Not in a box, not with a fox, not in a house, not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you, could you in a car? Eat them, here they are. I would not, could not in a car. You may like them, you will see. You may like them in a tree. I would not, could not in a tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. A train, a train, a train, a train. Could you, would you on a train? Not on a train, not in a tree, not in a car. Sam, let me be. I would not, could not in a box. I could not, would not with a fox. I will not eat them with a mouse. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them here or there. I will not eat them anywhere. I do not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Sam I am. Say, in the dark, here in the dark. Would you, could you in the dark? I would not, could not in the dark. Would you, could you in the rain? I would not, could not in the rain. Not in the dark, not on a train. Not in a car, not in a tree. I do not like them, Sam, you see. Not in a house, not in a box. Not with a mouse, not with a fox. I will not eat them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. You do not like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. Could you, would you, with a goat? I could not. I'm sorry, I would not, could not, with a goat. Would you, could you, on a boat? I could not, would not, on a boat. I will not, with a goat. I will not eat them in the rain. I will not eat them on a train. Not in the dark, not in a tree, not in a car. You let me be. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I will not eat them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. You do not like them, so you say. Try them, and you may. Try them, and you may, I say. Sam, if you will let me be, I will try them. You will see. Say, I like green eggs and ham. I do, I like them, Sam I am. And I would eat them in a boat, and I would eat them with a goat. And I will eat them in the rain, and in the dark, and on a train. And in a car, and in a tree. They are so good, you see. So I will eat them in a box, and I will eat them with a fox. And I will eat them in a house, and I will eat them with a mouse. And I will eat them here and there. Say, I will eat them anywhere. I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam I am. And that, kids, is how you pressure your friends to try stuff they don't like. I love that book, actually. Okay. Let's do a few more questions before we go to the next, because okay, I'm just a little overwhelmed still, but I'm getting there, I promise. Okay. Honeymoon episode of Vampire Girlfriend. I mean, that relationship is gonna progress, obviously. It's just, I don't want to go too fast with it. I mean, they may get there, but it's more fun to take your time and, have some fun along the way. So, how difficult is it making an audio? I mean, that's changed since I started. This channel is now, 5 months old? Almost 6 months old? And so, I mean, I've learned a lot on the fly. I have never done anything like this before. I've never done any acting, recording, sound editing, nothing. So all of this was sort of learned on the fly. So when I started, the hardest part was the editing, because I didn't know what I was doing. Now the hardest part is probably the scripts, just because I like to write very thorough scripts. I like to build worlds, and that can take a while. So, I mean, myth alignments, I can usually write a solid script in, half hour, 45 minutes, but some of the more complex stories, those can take a while. It can take several hours. And none of the rest of it takes that long. I mean, the editing can take a while if I'm building a soundscape or something, if I need to, incorporate a lot of sound effects, a lot of background noise. But yeah, right now the bottleneck is the script writing. So I'll kind of do it in groups. Like I'll write 4 or 5 scripts, and then I'll record all of them. And then I'll edit all of them. And then I'll go back and write again. So I try to group them that way, and that way I'm kind of doing things in chunks and not getting too tired of any one thing. Which other VAs do you watch? Lately, not too many. I used to listen to, I separate VAs from ASM artists, because ASM artists, when I think of those, I think of like people like Maria, people like Fred's Voice, people like Goodnight Moon, Angelica, where there's a video component. So I can watch somebody's hands folding napkins and listen to them talking and just drift off. But for VAs, I think more of the stuff like that I do, the role plays and comfort audios and things like that, where there's not necessarily a video component. And for those, I used to listen to Cardlin a lot. I used to listen to Yuri Voice, Madam Wigglesworth, Morgan Audio, Hollow VA. There's a few. There's so many great voices out there telling so many great stories. And one of the reasons I stopped was partly because I just don't want to inadvertently be influenced by anybody else's work. So I can just kind of focus on what I'm doing. And Partly because who has the time? If I have time to be listening, I have time to be writing or recording or something like that. So, let's see what else. Mic shots would be funny. Yeah, maybe I'll take the mic out for a little road trip around on the empty streets and create an Instagram around the adventures of my mic. Let's see. How do I find the time to edit such frequent uploads? I mean, that's the thing. That's kind of my only hobby. Like, I have my day job. I have this, and I have, like, kickboxing, which is the sport that I do. And that's kind of it. I don't have a lot of time for much else. I don't play games much anymore. I watch anime. I make time for that. But, yeah, but like I said, the edits have gotten a lot quicker. And it's funny because now that I can edit a fairly solid audio in less than an hour, it almost feels like I'm maybe doing something wrong because it used to take me so much longer. And now that it doesn't, it's just indicative of the fact that I've gotten better at it, but it feels weird because it's like, this should be taking more time. Maybe I'm not doing as good as I used to. But I am, I think. It's just coming easier to me, I guess. Would I rather carry a bucket full of tiny goats up a mountain while on fire, or be in a bucket full of tiny clones of you while being carried by a goat who is on fire? I would rather not be on fire. So I guess I'd rather be in a bucket of tiny clones, because in the first one, I'm on fire, and that just sounds like a bad proposition. Just completely. Yeah, no. I don't want to be on fire. Oh my gosh. Okay. Man, you guys are so amazing. Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Deep breaths. I gotta scroll back up because I'm missing some questions. Oh, before I forget, let me explain the since we already hit it, the goal with the Discord call. So once this is over, and I think this campaign will run all day. The live stream's not going to run all day, obviously, but the campaign will. And once we're done with the campaign and all the donations are in, I will randomly choose a donor to do a Discord call just with me, one-on-one, for 10 minutes. So if that interests you, then, that's how you get it. And there's no, weight for donating more or less. It's just, however much you donate. If you're a donor, you're entered in that. If you don't want to do it, let me know, either by putting it in the notes section or just, if you win and tell me, never mind, I don't want to do that, that's cool. In order to do it, you will need to have a Discord account and, some means of speaker and mic set up, either, through your laptop or headset or whatever you've got, so that we can communicate. But that's what that reward is. So, so when this is over, we will choose a winner for that. And obviously, if the winner can't or won't do it, then we will just keep choosing until we find somebody who does. So that is what that reward is for. Okay. How do I get my thumbnails? The pictures of the beach are all pictures that I took on my beach. I mean, that's really it. I live about 5 or 6 blocks from a beach, so I walk down there a lot, and I take pictures of the sunrise and, the wildlife and stuff like that. I love it. I love the pictures I can take down there. So, and if I miss your question, I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll back up and catch them all, but if I miss one, please feel free to ask it again, or somebody point out to me if I miss something interesting. Paul, you can't come over if I cry. You can't. They're not going to let you. Sorry. All right. All right. I'm glad you guys didn't hate green eggs and ham. It felt a little weird to read. I haven't actually thought of that book in so long, and I'm not sure why that's what I decided to read for the first goal. So I guess I should go ahead and do the second one. The my favorite poem of all time. And that is a poem by a poet named Ogden Nash. And the poem is called Portrait of the Artist as a Prematurely Old Man. And I love Ogden Nash. He was an American poet in the 20th century who was super into light verse. And his stuff is mostly just hilarious. And his poems don't have any meter, but they generally do rhyme, and they're just entertaining. I love reading his stuff. So this is my favorite of his. And I mean, obviously I still love Whitman a lot. Whitman's awesome too, but Whitman feels more substantial. You know, Whitman feels like a meal. This is like a snack. And everybody knows I'm snacky. So, Portrait of the Artist as a Prematurely Old Man. It is common knowledge to every schoolboy, and even every bachelor of arts, that all sin is divided into two parts. One kind of sin is called a sin of commission, and that is very important, and it's what you're doing when you're doing something you oughtn't. And the other kind of sin is just the opposite, and it's called the sin of omission, and is equally bad in the eyes of all right-thinking people, from Billy Sunday to Buddha, and it consists of not having done something you shoulda. I might as well give you my opinion of these two kinds of sin, as long as, in a way, against each other we are pitting them, and that is, don't bother your head about the sins of commission, because, however sinful, they must at least be fun, or else you wouldn't be committing them. It is the sin of omission, the second kind of sin, that lays eggs under your skin. The way you really get painfully bitten is by the insurance you haven't taken out, and the checks you haven't added up the stubs of, and the appointments you haven't kept, and the bills you haven't paid, and the letters you haven't written. Also about sins of omission, there is one particularly painful lack of beauty. Namely, it isn't as though it's been a riotous red-letter day or night every time you neglected to do your duty. You didn't get a wicked forbidden thrill every time you let a policy lapse or forgot to pay a bill. You didn't slap the lads in the tavern on the back and loudly cry, "Wee! Let's all fail to write just one more letter before we go home, and this round of unwritten letters is on me." No, you never get any fun out of things you haven't done. But they are the things that I do not like to be amid, because the suitable things you didn't do give you a lot more trouble than the unsuitable things you did. The moral is that it's probably better not to sin at all, but if some kind of sin you must be pursuing, well, remember to do it by doing, rather than by not doing. That's it. That's the poem. By far my favorite. And I hope you enjoyed it too. So, let's see. Back to the questions. I'm glad you like my voice. I'm glad it's soothing. Okay, hold on. Let's check the leaderboard. Oh my God, you guys! Oh. Jeez. Ugh. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so happy right now. I won't kill you, Mike, I promise. I promise I won't. Ugh. Oh my God. Okay. All right. 1 second. Okay, all right. Oh my God. Okay, all right. It's been half an hour. Oh, this is amazing. You guys are so amazing. I for somebody that writes and talks as a hobby, I don't have words right now, and that's great. I love that. I love that you've taken my words away. All right. So questions. Here we go. Oh, and obviously the all the bonus audios are unlocked now. I'll take all those live after we're done here, which I'm thinking we're going to wrap this up at like 5 my time, so about an hour and a half. And as soon as we do that, I will make those 2 audios live so everybody can enjoy them. The death epilogue and then the vampire roommate bonus content is not furthering the plot of that story. This is just going to be a little side, fun, cute, moment with the 2 of them that I think you guys will like. So you don't have to listen to it to keep up with the storyline as it's unfolding, but it's vampire roommate. Of course you're going to listen to it. Okay. All right. Where did I get the name Urban Nymph? Okay, so I used to be super into mythology when I was a kid, especially Greek and Roman and Egyptian, weirdly enough. But I always thought nymphs were cool. I liked the idea of these like protector guardian beings over aspects of nature, but they were always just aspects of nature, rocks and trees and caves and oceans and stuff. So I'm a city girl. I like the urban life, or at least being adjacent to the urban life, so I can get to stuff that's fun and cool. And being isolated is a little unsettling for me. So I thought, well, if I was a nymph, I would have to be an urban nymph because that's where I dwell. And then I thought, well, why not? Why can't cities have protector guardians? And that's kind of where it came from. So, a very important question. Lucifer. You know what? I've never seen the show Lucifer. I've seen it promoted, and I've thought about watching it, but I just haven't. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I probably should have. Let's see. When will I get back to the mermaid? Funny you should ask. She's back tomorrow. So, Tsundere Mermaid tomorrow. I should collab with some more peeps. Yeah, collabs are a funny thing. For one thing, nobody's approached me, and I don't quite feel like I'm at the point yet where I could be approaching anybody with that. I'm, still a little baby channel. But they're also kind of complicated to do because you need a good script where everybody feels like they're contributing and liking the part they're playing and things like that. And then you have to put it all together, and it's, collabs are hairy. I'm not against it at all. I think it could be fun. I just, it would have to be the right script and the right partner/partners to do it. More videos where the listener's in a coma. Maybe. That's always possible. The thing about the coma is that it's harder to do than most because the listener is not responding. It's just me talking to somebody who's unconscious, which is doable, obviously, but it makes it difficult since I can't use that dialogue aspect. I can't imply that you are saying something and then respond. So it's literally just me talking into a void. Again, it's not impossible. Obviously, we did it once already, but I would have to craft something I'm comfortable with, and it would probably involve, once again, reading to the person because that's what you do with people in comas. You read to them and talk to them and things like that. So it's possible. I could certainly revisit that. Do I plan on getting a picture of the depth tattoo? It's actually not a tattoo. It's a scar. And as far as a picture of it, I imagine everybody can kind of picture it the way they picture it. I know how I picture it. It's a scar of a trident, but, what that looks like in your head, yeah, it's kind of up to you. I might sketch something out someday. Let's see what else. A rejected confession video? Who's getting rejected, me or the listener? I feel like that's important. Let's see what else. Hold on, I just got bumped to the bottom. I'm trying to scroll back up so I don't miss something. Yikes, good lord. I am reading the chat. I promise. It's going a lot faster than I'm answering. So I'm trying to get to the top. Okay. Why did I make the vampire girlfriend listener an angel? Because I thought it had some real potential. I thought it would be fun to incorporate another supernatural being that maybe wasn't immediately obvious, but also, I mean, obviously angels are prevalent in a lot of mythologies, but there's just a lot of potential there that we could play with. And the fact that it's not like a full angel, it's just these latent markers that may or may not ever activate. There's just a lot to play with there. I like to set up characters and stories and stuff that can go in a lot of different ways, because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling when I write the next part. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. But, I mean, I have an idea where I'm going with that one, obviously. But, you know, things like that, I like to leave a lot available to myself. I don't like to paint myself into corners. Nymph is a tomboy. Nuh-uh. Kickboxing doesn't make me a tomboy. Kickboxing means I just like to punch stuff. Nah, I like pink. I like sparkles. I'm a princess, I swear. What kind of anime do I like to watch? I like all kinds of anime. I just finished Kuroko no Basket. Right now I'm watching, obviously, My Hero Academia every week. Been watching Welcome to Demon School Irma-kun, but man, is that getting annoying. I mean, I know they just finished it for this season. I'm not super psyched about next season. Maybe a little. I like how they ended it. But it was starting to get to the point of caricature, and I wasn't having as much fun watching it. So, watching Recovery of an MMO Junkie right now. That is frickin' adorable. Loving that. I'm also like 15 or 16 episodes into Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. And, oh gosh. I watch a lot of anime. There's not a whole lot of genres I don't watch. I mean, if it's a good show, it's a good show. It doesn't really matter if it's a slice of life or an isekai or whatever. It's a good show. I don't read manga much. I mean, I've read a couple, but, you know, I mostly just watch the anime. I'm not a big fan of UFC. I mean, most of my family does jiu-jitsu. I'm like the only one that doesn't. But I do the kickboxing, so, and they don't. So I guess together we're a halfway decent MMA fighter. But, yeah, it just doesn't do much for me to watch fighting. I don't know, I'm not, as much as I like kickboxing, I'm not a very violent person. I don't like to watch conflict. Do I like Fairy Tail? I've actually never watched Fairy Tail. I've thought about it. Maybe I should try it sometime. Let's see. Love my writing. Thank you. I'm glad you like my writing. The writing is definitely what I stress the most. I really like to tell a good story, and because, you know, writing is my background. I've always been a writer. I've only recently been a speaker. So the writing matters the most to me, and I spend way too much time researching and studying and exploring different things and making sure that I am as accurate as I can be with things that are established, as opposed to, you know, in-universe fantasy stuff that I can make up on my own. But yeah, everything else I like to be accurate. I've always got, case in point, my patrons know that this is beating me up, but my Helen of Troy series, oh my God, they know I'm working on that because I come into the Discord and I complain vociferously about Greek mythology and the rabbit hole that it is, and how I just kind of go down it and have like 47 tabs open on my browser of everything that's ever been written about Greek mythology, and things like 360 videos of, you know, the Vatican and the Forum and things like that, so that when I describe them in the audios that I am actually seeing what I'm describing, so I'm not just making something up. Like, I like to keep that as accurate as I can be. And it's fun, but it's exhausting. And I think Helen is going to be the last for a while that I do with an established mythology, as opposed to something I can just make up on my own. Let's see, what else? David, you are not driving to me when I cry. No, no, no. No one's driving to me. You guys know the rules. How do I feel about the crazy Florida weather? Yeah, the weather's, I mean, today is nice. The weather in Florida today is nice. I had to keep my warm hat and coat out much longer than usual this year. It's rare that I have to bundle up in March, so this has been strange, but let's see. The Mermaid, if you missed it, The Mermaid's back tomorrow. And it's a little darker, but it kind of had to be. So if you win the call, you can decline it. I will email you first. I don't know your Discord. I can't just call you. But yeah, whoever wins the call, I will email you and ask. And it shouldn't impact if you donate anonymously or not, because I can still see that stuff on my end. It's private, but I can see it. So if you want to donate anonymously and then still be in the running for the call, that's still a thing. Yeah, if the winner I pick is not currently in the stream, because I'm not going to pick it during the live stream because we're still getting donations in. So I will do it after the campaign closes, which I said I believe is just tonight, like at the end of the day, presumably my time. So I'll just email the winner, and if I don't get a response, I'll just try somebody else. I'll give them like 24 hours to respond. The bonus videos, as soon as this live stream is over, which will be here in like an hour and 15 minutes, I will go and make them live. They're up, they're waiting. They just need to be one-clicked into liveness, and then you guys can hear them. Y'all were mocking me when I was crying. Oh, harsh. So mean. No, it's not bad. I love the hearts. I appreciate that, you guys. Let's see how we're doing. Wow. Oh my God. Guys, we're over $1,200. Look at that. Y'all have more than doubled the goal I set for this thing. No, I'm not going to cry again. I'm not going to do it. Okay. All right. Let's get to some more questions. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Yeah, I do complain about Helena Troy. Just leave me alone. Let's see. Yeah, Toradora is amazing. You're not wrong. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll back up so I didn't miss something. Oh, you want a rejection video where I'm the one getting rejected? Oh, man. Ouch. I mean, I could do that. You want to hear me cry again? Because I'll cry again. I'll read a little Whitman and I'll cry again. I mean, if you're serious about wanting a rejection where I'm the one rejected, then I could certainly put it on my list. It sounds like a pretty miserable script to write, and I'm probably going to need a hug afterwards, but I can certainly do it. Commissions, that's a good question. I'm actually currently working on how to do that. I've hit a couple hurdles with commissions. I've never really done it before, and since I write all my own scripts and stuff, I like to have all that creative control, so I will say I'm working on it. I'm trying to come up with ways to set it up that it's kind of streamlined and that there's a way to pay for them without basically giving up all my anonymity, because I very much value that. I value my privacy. But, the more payment methods and stuff you have, the most of them require some level of actual name or phone number or something, and that's, I'm not super comfortable with that, so I might do something through Patreon, like a special tier or something for commissions, but manage it in such a way that it doesn't become overwhelming. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure that out and see. But there has been some more interest in that lately, so I should probably, make a decision on that and start doing it. Let's see. The plot twist in the road trip audio. Honestly, I don't know where that came from. I was just thinking of, a misunderstanding. Just the whole, somebody thinks somebody's hiding something and it turns out to be something wholesome. And maybe that's just because where my brain naturally goes. Right? And I didn't think it was that. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious. Like, maybe it wasn't. But the number of people that seemed to think that I was legit, like, making the listener a cheater and that it was going to go down a really bad path was kind of surprising. Like, y'all know me at all? Do you think I would do that? But, yeah, no. That's it just came to me and I thought it was kind of cute, so. Comfort after suicide attempt. Yeah, that's come up before too. I've kind of kicked that one around a few times. I've never kind of liked my treatment of it though. I will circle back to it again. I think it's important. It may not be specifically suicide. It may just be, I mean, it may not say suicide, maybe more about self-harm or something like that. That's, more all-encompassing for people that struggle with those thoughts. But it's a pretty heavy topic, and it's one that, if you're legitimately struggling in that regard, you probably need more help than I can offer. And, I say that with much love. I want people to get the help they need. And, we all deserve to be supported and to be loved in a way that actually helps us. So I might circle back to that. I just need to tread with care and defer to people who are better than I at handling issues like that, because as much as I love to listen to people and support people, I know I am no expert and I know my limits. So if I was a bucket, what kind of bucket would I be? Oh, Sam, you know what? I have an answer to this. There's this great bucket that's flat on one side, so you can lay it down and like sweep into it like a dustpan, but then you can pick it up like a bucket. I love that thing. I truly love that bucket. So if I were a bucket, that is my bucket. That is me. You're welcome. Okay. A registry agent roleplay. I was not planning on doing a registry agent roleplay, largely because I don't like to play more than one character in the same universe, because I think it gets confusing. But something like that in a different universe, possibly. I mean, the Tsundere Mermaid, you'll find out tomorrow, is kinda in that wheelhouse. So, yeah, just wait. You'll see her. Konosuba. I think I said it before. I'm not a super fan of Konosuba. Just, it doesn't do much for me, but I get the appeal. I do understand. Gardener versus architect dichotomy. I'm not familiar specifically with George R. R. Martin's theory, but I think I can imagine as far as, building versus tending. And I mean, if his theory is that we are all a little bit of both, then I agree with it. If his theory is that everybody's one or the other, I'm not so sure. I mean, I feel like I do a little bit of both. My favorite emoji? The heart. I like the heart. It's just, unless we're on Discord and it's the hug. Obviously, the hug is the best emoji. But that's, custom to the Discord, so. Genre of anime that's my least favorite would probably be sports. I don't mind them. I really liked Kuroko's basketball, but, as a whole, I tried watching Haikyuu and it didn't really do much for me. So, yeah, probably that. But even then, there's always exceptions. I don't like JoJo, I'm sorry. How do I simulate different sounds in my VAs? If you're talking about the Foley art, I usually make that myself, chain sounds and tapping and stuff like that. I will just do that with my own hands with a glass. I'm clinking glasses, I'll do that. If you're talking about background noise, I go to free audio sites for that have, Creative Commons 0 licenses, which means you can use them without attribution. They're totally free to use, because I am super, super touchy about using other people's intellectual property, and anything copyrighted is off the table for me, which is also why I probably will never do an established character, somebody else's character, like a My Hero Academia character, anything like that. I will not do those because they are not mine, and I could probably not do them justice anyway. So, but yeah, I build my soundscapes out of a combination of existing sound files that are available and things that I make noise with myself. So, a werewolf girlfriend roleplay. Yeah, that's come up. I've never been really comfortable with characters that require a lot of growling and snarling and things like that. I don't know why. I think it's just a hang up with myself that I would either feel like I don't do it right, or it would just sound weird. It wouldn't sound right. It's been suggested before, it's been requested, and every time it is, I kind of circle back to it and think about it some more, and I'm sure eventually I will. Probably, I know this is a long way off, but probably October for sure, because, you know, we got to do the spooky stuff in October. So, but I read a really interesting story once. I used to have an anthology of werewolf stories when I was a kid. I was kind of a weird kid. My parents had a lot of weird books too, so I read all their stuff. And there was a werewolf story that basically was two characters were werewolves, but they weren't what you would think of as werewolves. This woman was a single mom in an apartment. She had a baby. And she starts to transform, and you think she's turning into a wolf by the description. But it turns out she's turning into a guy, and he's a jackass. He's like a partying, misogynistic jackass. And meanwhile, the nice guy down the hall in the apartment building is a werewolf who turns into basically a dog. And so he sees this happen with her, and he also transforms, and he goes and basically takes care of her kid while she's out. And she's mortified, you know, she's freaking out because she's embarrassed that this is who she becomes 3 nights of the month. And he's trying to talk her down like, you know, 3 nights of the month is really nothing. You know, most of the time you are you and you are great. And, you know, it's just a weird twist on the werewolf trope. And, but I liked it. I thought it was creative. I thought it was interesting. I don't think I'll ever do that because it's a little too, you know, there's a lot of interplay there that I probably would not be able to replicate well, but that's the kind of thing I like. You know, it's an interesting twist on an established story. If I could be any princess, what princess would I be? Oh, I mean, I always related to Belle. I like books and I don't take a lot of crap. But, yeah, we can go with Belle. I mean, that was kind of always the Disney princess I identified with. So, I mean, if I have to choose an established princess to be, that would be it. Otherwise, I would just be myself. Christian mythology. An angel was viewed as a floating ring with a huge eye. I did not know that. It sounds terrifying. So, yeah. Oh, we're up to 1,280. Wow, you guys. Oh my God. 1,305. We just crossed $1,300, you guys. Okay, yeah. Whew. Have I watched Overlord? Yes, I've watched the first few episodes. I stopped. I kind of lost interest. It just didn't really hold me. I tried. Dragon Maid, I love. I love Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I watched that one start to finish. It was adorable. So yeah, I've seen that one. Do I have a favorite Greek god? Ooh. Yikes. I like Artemis, probably. I like the idea of, like, you know, Dad, just make me somebody that doesn't ever need to depend on men, just right out of the gate, please. You know, and that's, you know, not because of any hostility, just, you know, independence, just that whole idea of a culture that allows women to have power and have a presence, you know, that matters. It's surprisingly rare in the world. So I appreciate that. Yes, I finished Kuroko no Basket, and I tried Haikyuu and wasn't a big fan. Yeah, the comment, I like that you don't always repeat what I think the listener said. Yeah, I've said this before. I hate when the VA just repeats back what's alleged to have been said and then responds, because it just takes me out of the moment. Nobody talks like that. So, and that's one of the challenges of writing scripts for one-sided dialogue, is trying to leave the response implied and still have it be suggested what it was within, you know, a realm of possibilities. It doesn't have to be word for word, but you get the idea. And I like it when people say that as they're listening to my audios, they're responding in their head, and then the responses that I'm giving match what they're responding. I like that because it means that I'm probably doing something right. I do love Ouran High School Host Club. That's the one that I go back to whenever I just, you know, need a laugh or need like a mindless entertainment to put on in the background, like that's my favorite just background anime. That and Kiss Him Not Me. That one just cracks me up. Plus I love how they do the eyes in that one. They're really pretty. Training partner or coach roleplay. I did do the boxing lesson roleplay where I show the listener how to jab cross. That's probably the only one I'm ever going to do about actual boxing. And it's funny because that one I think a lot of people went into expecting it to suck. Because it was like, oh, boxing lesson. This is going to be not interesting. But I think it turned out okay. I think people liked it. So, let's see what else. Norse and, yeah. I like Norse mythology too. I never got into it as deeply as I did the other stuff. But, oh, I'm glad you like the Myth Alignment series. Yeah, me too. I like those. I like the little, 5-minute pick-me-up type scenarios because it's good for two reasons. One, I think it helps people that are struggling with stuff specifically, but it also helps me because it gets me out of my zone of writing these very long, complex narratives that tell stories that meander for several episodes, and, not everything needs to be that way. As tempting as it is for me to write them that way. So Myth Alignments actually challenge me to keep it short and keep it meaningful and still be supportive and emotional and everything that you need me to be. So, did I ever use my kickboxing skills against somebody? No. No, I've never actually been in a fight. That's, and if anybody tries, I'm going to run away as fast as I can. Ever want to visit Rome or Athens? Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to visit someday. Obviously not now, but someday it'd be cool to visit either of those. I don't really have a preference between the two. Maybe Rome, only because of its proximity to other cool cities in Italy that might be fun, like Florence and places like that. Let's see what else. Yes, I have a Discord. It is just for my patrons on Patreon. It's one of the perks. And then we, hang out there, and they help me a lot with brainstorming ideas and coming up with cool stuff for the audios and things like that. So yes, if you would like to join us on Discord, you are welcome to become a patron. That is how we do it. Okay, what are we up to now? I gotta check the leaderboard. Okay, good. We slowed down a little bit. Whew. Okay. Not gonna lie, that was starting to get a little unsettling how quick that was going up. Okay, where did I leave off? I'm sorry. The questions are coming in kind of fast. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see. Yes, I took the picture of the crab. Yep. I got down on the sand, laid on my stomach, and took a picture of the crab. Any future audios? Yes. I'm keeping to my 3-a-week schedule, at least for now. Someday I might go back to the 4, but 4 was a bit much. I was having a hard time keeping up with that. This way I can actually bank a few and have them ready to go when it's time. Like, for example, the 2 that I'm about to release, those are not part of my normal schedule. Those are part of this. Those are rewards for this. So I had to make sure I had time to get those done and things like that. How do I make sounds in the videos sound realistic? By using real things. If I'm drinking as a character, like taking a drink of something, I will take a drink of something. If I'm shaking a chain, I will get the chain that I bought at Home Depot and shake it. That's that's all I got. I just use real things, and I'll listen to them back and make sure they sound, real enough. Because sometimes, what the actual item sounds like is not necessarily what you expect it to sound like for an audio. So it takes a little tweaking, but okay. See, I think I answered that. I did watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that is a really, really good show. Reverse cry? That sounds terrifying, Sam. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, the collabs, I mentioned before, I would always be open to doing a collab if it was the right script and the right people and things like that. So I don't think I'm that good at playing with people's emotions. I think I like to write, and when I write, I like to write as realistically as possible. So I feel like if I have felt something, I can probably write it. And that goes both ways. There are things that I have not felt that makes it harder to write them. So, if I was trying to do an audio for something that I've just never experienced before, then I imagine that would be extremely challenging because I just don't have a frame of reference for that. So I try to avoid things that I haven't personally, at least peripherally experienced or been around people who have. So, I've murdered the listener twice. Was it only twice? The pen and the demon that eats you? That's the only times I killed you? Huh. I need to up my game. Drunk girlfriend video. Not counting the one where I'm fake drunk, right? Because, man, that was fun. I loved that one. I loved that twist so much. And that was another one that, I was thinking, I should probably do a drunk one. And I was like, I don't want to do a straightforward drunk one. What can I do? Ooh, I know. I'll be fake drunk. And did not anticipate the visceral reaction people were going to have with that. But, boy, that was fun. I really enjoyed that one. Breakup audio? Yeah, that would be along the lines of the rejected confession audio. And I should probably do something like that. It's probably not going to be a super pleasant listen, but if it would help anybody or if you think you would like to hear it, I'm open. I mean, this channel is, for me to make things that you guys want to hear. So if there's something you want to hear, please feel free to, leave it in comments or whatever. I'm glad you guys like my bucket. Have I watched Big Bang Theory? I have, actually. Years ago. Which character am I most like? Well, I mean, the audience surrogate is Leonard. So I guess we're supposed to relate to Leonard. I like Bernadette, though. I mean, personality-wise, I like Bernadette. I like the whole, she's cute until you piss her off, and then she's going to rip your head clean off. Like, I like her. Fantasy audio where the listener is an experienced adventurer. Yeah, yeah, you're right. The listener is frequently a beginner and stuff. And I do have a few plans for the listener to be not quite so raw at things. It's not necessarily the listener is a beginner at everything. It's just that the circumstances in which my character comes into the picture are different from what the listener is accustomed to. Like the elf bandit. And the listener has experience running a country, but not so much being on the run. So it's a different skill set. And the same with the post-apocalyptic scavenger. The listener is an engineer and definitely has things to contribute, but is not familiar with the current time and the current place and things like that. So it's a learning curve, but it's not about being a newbie at everything. It's just about being unfamiliar with the surroundings. And then, the learning curve is part of the fun. I have not read any Lovecraftian books, but my favorite game is Unspeakable Words, which features a many, many, many tiny little Cthulhus. And if you ever have a chance to play that game, please do. It's a great game to play at parties. I just like to play with a little pile of Cthulhus. It's the cutest thing. Which video character or idea is my favorite? Oh. Ooh, not Helen, I'll tell you that. Honestly, I like Vampire Roommate only because I think she's the most like me. She's, personality-wise, I think she's the most me. And I like that people seem to relate to her. She's just so ordinary except for the whole vampire thing. And I like that. I think that just makes her approachable. On a scale of 1 to 72, how many cows would be able to swim across the Atlantic? Also, 12 of them have headlights and 4 of them are pink. Sam? We'll talk later, Sam. Let's see. What am I missing now? What else is happening? Oh my god, you guys, we're almost to 1,500. Ah! Yikes. Ah, this is so beautiful. Oh my god. Stop making me cry. Give me a second. Okay. Oh, jeez. I love you guys so much, honestly. Like I can't even right now. I can't stop smiling like an idiot. All right. Back to the questions. Would I do an ASMR script sent to me? As of now, I will not do scripts written by other people because there are many, getting back to the intellectual property issues, I need to retain full ownership of my things because I am monetized. So, you know, there's a lot of gray area there with who owns what and things like that. So I know there are VAs that accept scripts. They usually do it through a path where the writer relinquishes the right to, you know, come back for monetary compensation and things like that. But I don't have that path built, and I right now kind of prefer writing my own. I also like writing my own because I like them to be in my voice. You know, I write everything in my voice. It's easier for me to do it that way because then it comes more naturally to me when I speak. So, you know, most of my characters speak the way I speak. It's not complicated. The vampire girl, yeah, the vampire girl not being able to feed off the listener is definitely an issue, and it's an issue we are circling back to. So don't give up on that just yet. Have there ever been points where you wanted to record a video, but your current state of mind or well-being prevented you from doing so? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been times when I've, you know, felt really low, felt really tired, felt really, you know, just not felt great about myself, and it's been hard to be the supportive one in an audio. Like, for example, like a myth alignment or something, when I have to play somebody who is in a good mood or in a supportive mood and supporting the listener through something. It can be hard. The flip side of that, though, is if I force it, it actually sometimes helps raise my mood because, you know, it's sort of like that whole, if you force a smile, your brain interprets that as, well, we must have something to be happy about, so we should probably cheer up. And of course, that only works to a point, but the feedback of your body to your brain and the influence that has on your mood, if I force a positive voice and a positive attitude for an audio, I will frequently feel better after. And I'm sure part of that is just, hey, I got it done. So that's a good feeling. But yeah, I mean, I won't force it if I'm genuinely crying or something. But if it's just kind of a down mood, I'll probably push through. Let's see what else. Princess roleplay. I haven't yet sort of felt, I don't know, something about doing a princess roleplay where I'm the actual princess just feels incredibly arrogant. Maybe that's not the right word. Just, it feels like I think very highly of myself, and I realize it's just a role, but I kind of prefer my characters to have had to work for things or had to, you know, experience things. And I mean, I guess I could, especially if it's not just a sit on the throne and look pretty princess, it's an actual get stuff done princess. But I mean, it's possible. I've got a huge spreadsheet of ideas that, you know, people suggest to me that I've come up with myself, and I try to sort them by category and kind of, you know, break them up so that every week has got something in the sort of supernatural fantasy realm, something in the friends to lovers or girlfriend type realm, and then the myth alignment. So I can kind of keep it spaced out and it's not all just one theme all the time. Let's see. SCP Illustrated. What is that? I'm not sure what that is. Did I read the Percy Jackson series? I didn't, actually, but I heard good things about the books, not so much the movies. What language would I like to learn? I used to speak Spanish. I took like 4 years of Spanish in high school and a year in college, and then I did like 4 years of Duolingo. I had a 4-year streak on Duolingo, which is really strange. I don't know why I was so proud of that. And then I got tired of Spanish and I switched to Japanese and got beaten over the head by the kanji so quickly. Like I tried, I really did, but the way Duolingo does Japanese, because I just wanted to learn to speak it, but Duolingo expects you to be able to read it and stuff too, and it was far too much for me to to figure out, so I kind of quit. Favorite Egyptian deity? I always liked Osiris. I really liked Osiris. I liked the whole, like, being killed by your brother but still getting to be a god, just underworld now. Like, I just thought that was kind of cool. Like, that sounds like a better gig anyway. Having done Sam, I'm not going to respond to you anymore. And I say that with much love. Okay. Hold up, I need to scroll back up. Okay. Boxing lesson is one of your favorite. Good. I'm glad somebody likes the boxing lesson. Yeah, it's Shy Puncher. She is a Shy Puncher. A collab with my patrons. I mean, again, a collab would come down to a good script and some good voices to do it. And I'm open to suggestions if somebody has some. But, you know, whatever. I'm open to many things. 15 and 30 minutes. Yeah, 15 and 30 minutes is a good solid length. I know mine don't usually go that long, and that's largely because I'm telling convoluted stories, and as I start to go down the rabbit hole of those stories, I need to bite them off in chunks. And so I try to find a good stopping place before I go on to the next sort of chapter of it. And that's not usually very long. It's like, 10 to 15 minutes maybe. But let's see. Lover, fighter, or neither? Definitely lover. I mean, I like to fight, but only against like a bag. Face reveal at 10K. No, sorry. Not gonna happen. Let's see. If you like mythology, did you play God of War? I did not play God of War. I did not. Favorite meme? Okay, Biped. Okay, Biped is my favorite meme because it's mine. Do I have other socials? I have a Twitter, and I link that I think I link it in the description of every video. So, yeah, and I tweet my own audio links, and I also tweet songs I'm listening to at the time, and sometimes I tweet super profound thoughts like how much I want pie, things like that. Things that I'm sure you totally want to follow me on Twitter to hear or see. Let's see. Sam, I need to, if I see your name, I need to skip it. How did I make the blood drinking sound the first Vampire Roommate episode? Speaking of realism, I literally put my mouth on my own elbow and pretended I was drinking my own blood. That's how you make that sound. Because how else do you think it sounds real? I mean, that's all I got. So, let's see what's next. Hello, everyone. Hello. Part 2 of the Mech and Injured Captain. I'm probably not going to bring back the Mech and Injured Captain because, to be honest, I'm not super comfortable in mech universes. I like, some of the anime and stuff like that, but it's not my normal wheelhouse, and so I would probably get buried under the tech. And I kind of like how it ended. I mean, if you like to think that the listener comes back and gets, at least the memory out of that thing and keeps it alive, then by all means, that's amazing. If you like to think they just parted ways there and she made a sacrifice, that's great too. I mean, whatever the listener would like to do with that story in their head, I super support. Let's see. Can everyone send you a script? I mean, anyone can send me ideas. Nobody can send me a script. I mean, if you send me a script, I'm not going to use it because, again, I need to write my own scripts for ownership purposes and also so that they're in my voice. But if you have ideas, you absolutely may send me ideas. You can either put them in comments, on the audios, or you can email me. My email is in my bio on my channel. So if you've got ideas, by all means. I mean, I may or may not be able to do them. I may or may not be able to do them soon. I tend to plan my calendar like a couple of months in advance. I already know pretty much all of April what my audios are going to be. So, and I still have a million ideas that I haven't gotten to yet. that I plan to. I absolutely plan to. It's just hard because, at 3 a week with a certain theme element, I can only do so much. But I have every intention of coming back to most of them. So if you have ideas, please, by all means, fire them up. Let's see. A sequel to The Drunken Professor. Yeah, that was the Talktober prompt. And that was, that was just for fun. I mean, it actually ended up being a little more sad than I anticipated, but I think that's okay. I mean, it was just, Talktober was just a fun, and I may do more Talktober this year. It's like a VA thing, so there's, I think Cardlin's the one that comes up with the prompts, and then a bunch of other people. We all, take the ones we like and do them and see how they turn out. So, let's see. Yeah, the domain bartender, it probably is a one-off, at least for now, because now that I've established that I'm the bartender in that scenario, I really can't go anywhere else. So in order for the plot or things to happen, people have to come to me, which isn't impossible. I mean, that's like the whole way that Star Trek DS9 was orchestrated. It's a station everybody comes to as opposed to a ship that travels. But I mean, it's possible. That was kind of a tongue-in-cheek nod towards some of the other characters, like Pepper, because people kept asking what happened to Pepper. So I was like, all right, Pepper's drinking her sorrows away in a bar. Let's go visit Pepper and make sure everybody knows she's okay, and things like that. But I mean, I could come back to it maybe if I come up with an idea for something that might be fun. And again, if you have ideas, fire away. Super high level adventure, yeah. I do love Ephemeral Rift. I do. He's definitely he was one of the first ASM artists I listened to. And I used to love when he would go to like Hershey, Pennsylvania and come back with all kinds of chocolate. Like those are my favorite ones of his because he seemed to like chocolate at least as much as I do. So, Kudere Alien. Yeah, I'm glad you guys liked the Kudere Alien. And I'm glad you liked how it ended because there was really no other way to end that. And I like how that worked out. I like that I took it there. Let's see. You can picture yourself as a Mandalorian all you want. Whatever makes you happy. The Hanging with Death audio, that was another one that just sort of weirdly came to me right like near the beginning of my channel, like the first few weeks. I was just thinking of fun characters, and I was like, well, Death would be fun. Like, you always think of Death as like, a skeleton with a scythe or something, and I was like, nah, she could be cool. She could be frustrated because, look, guy she can't kill. And I don't know, again, that just sort of popped into my head, but I was like, this sounds like a lot of fun. Like, I could really have some fun with her. So, yeah, that's just kind of what happened with that. Ellen Poe. You mean like Edgar Allan Poe? I do like Edgar Allan Poe. Very much. Let's see. Is crying good for you? I certainly hope so. Do I plan on doing an audio where I'm the one being murdered? Possibly in October. That would be the time to do that. Honestly, there's really no other context where that would probably be okay. Because then, I mean, honestly, you guys would have to be the ones killing me. You're the listener. You're the only other one in the scene. Unless we're both getting killed, which sounds equally harsh. But yeah, that does sound like a fun October. Or either I'm killing you or you're killing me, and it could be spooky as hell. I'm going to have to hold myself back. Like, October is the time where I'm going to get a little... I mean, I got a taste of that because I started my channel on September 30th, so my entire first month was October. And I was having fun with, like, the art student model thing and the demon that eats you and all that stuff. And then I had to sort of rein that in for the rest of the year. And when we come back to October, I'm just going to have way too much fun with that. Let's see. Do I have a plushie or pillow that I hug before or during sleep? I will sometimes hug a pillow. I have a few pillows, but they're just regular pillows. They're not, big or plushy or anything like that. Let's see. No, I don't have a body pillow. I don't have a waifu pillow. I don't. Will I ever do a blooper video? Yeah, I think that this has been asked before, and the answer is the same. I don't really have any bloopers. When I record, I generally do it in one take because I write my scripts in my voice, and I mark every pause, and I mark every and well and I mean and and all that stuff. And so I just slide right through it. I go through it in one take. If I have to cough or something, then I'll just cough and then cut that out when I go back and do the edits. So there's not a lot of like misspeaking. There's not a lot of fun bloopers or anything like that. I don't really have anything I can use for that. So unfortunately. Let's see. The vampire roommate's name. She does not have one. She is one of the few characters that does not have one, and that's by design, because she is so popular, and I want her to be what you imagine her to be, right down to the name. So whatever you would like to call her, please feel free. That is on you. How do I find the motivation to write? Deadlines. Deadlines are by far the most motivating thing on earth, and I realize that because this is my channel, they are self-imposed arbitrary deadlines, but they are still motivating as all hell, because I set the schedule for myself, and by God, I'm going to stick to it, unless something catastrophic happens and I don't have a choice. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty upset with myself just having to go down from 4 a week to 3, but I was just getting snowed under on that, so I had to, but I felt bad. So yeah, when you set yourself deadlines, and my background is actually journalism. I mean, I like to write creatively, but as far as my degree, it's journalism. So being on deadline is very familiar, I guess, to me. And it's amazing what you can do when you don't have any time left. So I recommend setting yourself deadlines. And if you can't motivate yourself with like a reward for hitting the deadline, then motivate yourself by punishing yourself if you miss it. Whatever it takes to, some people are more motivated by positive reinforcement and some the other way. So whatever works for you. Let me slide back up. Why does this keep doing this? It keeps kicking me back up to the, it kicks me to the end of the chat, so I have to go back up again. The best script I've written. Oh, you tell me. I mean, I really like the fake drunk one. I like the last Alien script. I liked how that turned out a lot. What else? I mean, the first Vampire Roommate script I thought went pretty well. It's caused many a war over whether mushrooms belong on pizza. But, let's see. Any kind of combat character. Yeah, combat characters are tough because there's a lot of action in stories like that, and that's really hard to do on a one-sided audio. So the sounds of actual combat, the sounds of, combat in the distance, things like that. The closest thing was probably the one with the Paladin and the Wraith, but there's no actual combat in that one. It's just, a captured soldier. But I might go back and try that. I'd have to come up with some really good sounds, depending on whether it's like a fantasy and there's like sword sounds, or whether it's like a post-apocalyptic and there's like laser sounds or gun sounds or something. I could certainly play with that. Sometimes the soundscape is the most challenging thing. If I can tell a good story, like as I'm writing it, I will frequently make notes to myself, like, okay, I need this kind of sound here, I need this kind of sound here, and then I'll make myself a list. Okay, for this script, I need these 7 or 8 sounds. And then I will go try to find them. And if I can't find them, I got to go tweak the script, because the two go hand in hand. Like, I don't want to have to sacrifice a good story because I can't find good sounds, but I also don't want to take a good story and ruin it with crappy sounds. So it's a fine line. It's like a tightrope. Let's see. Am I in quarantine? I mean, not officially. Nope. I'm in Florida. And you know how we do things in Florida. We just, pick up our alligator and go about our day. So, let's see. I'm so far behind, I'm just getting the F's for Sam. I'm sorry, Sam. You know I love you. Okay. Ready to show us your beautiful face. How did you know? How did you know I'm beautiful? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm never going to do a face reveal because it's better if I don't. It's much better if you imagine whatever you want me to look at. And that way, whatever I do look like doesn't influence what you are seeing in your head. It's better that way. Because everybody's ideas are different of what's attractive or what's appealing or, what's soothing or whatever. What else? A mad scientist one. Ooh, that could be fun. I do have on my list a suggestion from one of my patrons about me and the listener being a pair of scientists working overnight in a lab on something unauthorized and it goes wrong. So that could tie into that as well. That could be fun. Do I appreciate the work of Teacup Audio? I've only heard a couple of Teacup's audios. I generally don't listen to VAs that are women. I do a couple, but in general I don't, because I don't feel like I'm the target audience and it doesn't really do much for me. Also, I don't want to accidentally be influenced by anybody else's work. So I try to isolate myself a bit. I mean, not entirely, but a bit. So, 2 grunt soldiers and a tyrannical empire. That could be fun. My spirit Pokemon, Spoink. I love that guy. I carry a Spoink card in my purse. I kid you not. It might make me weird, but I do. Let's see. Death is a girl. Yeah, Death is a girl. When I found your channel, I binged all your series. I mean, it's not weird if you don't think it's weird. Do you think it's weird? I don't know. I don't think it's weird. I've done that with other people before. I've binged stuff they've done. I think Lindsay Ellis, when I first discovered her, I watched like all of her videos back to back over the course of a week. What I do ripped from the headlines inspired scripts. It depends on what story we're being ripped from the headlines, because some things do not age well. And, pop culture type stuff will not make sense to people even in 6 months or a year, so it kind of depends. What else we got? Hold on, let me check the... 1467, you guys. God, that's beautiful. That's amazing. Okay. The most fun character or audio I've done. Probably Death. She's fun. I really like to amp up the drawl and call people pumpkin. I mean, she's got sass for days. Way sassier than I actually am, most of the time. Will I ever do a face reveal? Nope. I know of Dangerous ASMR. I don't know her personally. The latest I've had to stay up to finish a video? I mean, I've stayed up till like 1:30 editing, but that's not so much because it's like, oh my god, I have to get this done because it's due tomorrow. It's more because I started and I don't usually stop partway through. Once I've started editing an audio, I want to finish it because I don't like to leave it partially done because I'll forget where I left off, kind of thing. So once I start, I finish. And that has been known to go late, but that's just on me. Do I like boxing? No, not really. I like kickboxing myself, but I don't like to watch people fight. I realize there's a certain amount of, I don't know if hypocrisy is the word, but incongruence in that. Isekai ASMR. Yeah, an Isekai ASMR might be fun. Again, I'd have to find a way to exposition dump without having it just be an exposition dump. Which in Isekais, it's almost fun. Now that I do this, it's kind of fun to watch shows in general, but Isekai specifically, because they have to have a way right at the beginning to bring the viewer up to speed, to bring the audience surrogate character from another world up to speed. And it's fun how they do that. They do different things. Sometimes they just dump the information and there it is. Sometimes they, leak it out in little bits as you go. And it's kind of fascinating to watch. And some are more jarring than others. And now that I do this, I pay a lot more attention to things like that. Do I ever write to music? Rarely. I mean, I love music, but If it has words, I either want to sing along if I know them, or I'm straining to hear them so I can learn them, and that's distracting. If it doesn't have words, it tends to be pretty soothing, so I generally like pretty quiet when I write. I don't know if that's normal. Hi Sam, welcome back. You guys are fun. I mean, I know I've said this before, but I love my patrons to death. They're an amazing group of guys and girls, and we have so much fun on Discord. It's an incredibly wholesome place. We talk about food and pets, and we have special emojis just for hugs because that's what we do. It's a very wholesome, supportive community that's almost like a family, and I love them all to death, and they know it. So, let's see. Steins Gate. I've never watched Steins Gate. I've heard of it, but I've never watched it. Someone going through the stages of grief. So I'm going through the stages of grief. Maybe. I mean, I could rapid fire through them, but they tend to not be that quick. You know, sometimes it takes a long time to get through all the stages, so it might be kind of jarring to whip through them like that. But I mean, that's a maybe. I could find a way to maybe at least hit a couple of them. Let's see. Do some of my characters have minor details about them that people usually do not notice? It kind of depends. I mean, I'll sometimes when I started this, I was dropping nerd Easter eggs left and right because I couldn't help myself. I was having so much fun. And that really wasn't so much the characters, it was just, the dialogue. Now I kind of like to make little references to each other sometimes, like in the cooking pretzel chicken one we talk about, I'm not a vampire kind of thing. And I know you guys will get that because the vampire roommate. Sometimes there are little things about myself that really don't matter, but, like the Diet Coke thing. I love Diet Coke. I love it, with every breath of my being. So, when I reference a Diet Coke in an audio, it's legit. That's me. I don't like mushrooms on pizza. That's legit also. I don't like wearing shoes. A lot of it's just pieces of myself that I put in the characters, which I don't know if they add something or give any personality or not, but they make them relatable to me and maybe easier to play in that way. My short stories are not available because I really never published them anywhere. When I was a kid, I really wanted to be a writer, and figured out pretty quickly that the only way to make money at it was to be like a journalist or something like that, and not count on being a novelist or anything of that nature because of how unlikely it is to make a living doing that. So I went into journalism, and all my creative writing was pretty much on the side, and that's where it's been. I don't think I've ever actually even put anything online. I'm too self-conscious, I guess, about it. And I have a tendency to start stories and not finish them. I will start them and let them meander for ever, 70, 80 pages sometimes, and have no idea where to go with it and just stop and start a different story, which is terrible. And I think I've said before, this channel has helped me a lot with developing stories to a point where I can actually wrap them up and, come to a at least borderline satisfying conclusion. Because I don't want to do these same characters forever. I want to introduce more characters and retire some of the other ones. And I like the challenge of coming up with ways to retire them in a satisfying fashion so that people go, oh yeah, that was a good story, what's next? Instead of going, wait, what? That's not what I thought was going to happen. So yeah. An ASMR in high school? Yeah, I don't really want to play high school characters if I can help it. And I can because it's my channel. I stick to college and older. That's just my thing. I have certain parameters, I guess, I like to follow. So, plus I'm not sure I sound like a high school student. I don't know, maybe. If I try hard enough. I can do a few silly voices, but none of them are high school. If I could do an audio for anything. I mean, I kind of am doing the audios I want to do. The things I worry about are the things that I would always have to worry about, like just making sure I have the sound effects I need and things like that. But I mean, I'm doing what I enjoy. I'm doing the characters I like. I'm doing I mean, some of them have been suggested by people, but some of them are my own, and I'm having a great time with them. I enjoy them a lot. You've put my voice to a character of yours? That's not weird necessarily. It's cool. Interesting. Listen to music in another language. See, but I'll still try. I'll still try to pick out words and sing along. Like that just, I can't help myself. Let's see. Flip-flops all the way. Yes. Diet Coke is not my audio signature. My audio signature is sweetness. I thought that was established. And no mushrooms. Mushrooms are fungus. They add nothing. What are we up to now? Oh my god, we broke 1,500. Holy crap. Oh, jeez. Guys, we have tripled the goal. We tripled the goal. Holy hell. I don't know what to do with that. I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like shock, and I'm going to cry later because the reality is not entirely sunk in. Oh man, okay, all right. Yeah, the singing is going to be, we're not going to hit that, and that's almost by design. That's not almost by design, it's definitely by design, because I really didn't want to sing. But I know that's something that, oh, the neighbor's dog is barking. That's something that people say they want to hear. You don't want to hear me sing. I swear to God, you don't. But I did pre-record a track for this just in case it exploded, because I was afraid that after 2 hours of this, my voice would be shot, and it kind of is, and I wouldn't want to sing in that circumstance, so I went ahead and recorded something. So maybe eventually I will upload it when I feel less awful. I don't know, less inept, I suppose, at singing. I have certain talents, and that is not one of them, but I may share just because I am so incredibly tickled that you guys have given so much to such an incredible cause. Like that just, the subcockle region of my heart is warm. I love it. Okay. Can I make a blue canary in the outlet by the light switch roleplay? Sean referencing one of my favorite songs. If y'all don't know Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants, listen to it. It's amazing. It's been one of my favorite songs for like my entire adult life. So I strongly recommend. It's a great song. Let's see. Coca-Cola advertisement audio. No, they don't need my help. I'm kind of sort of advertising every time I mention Diet Coke in my audios, but I mean, that's just because I genuinely love it. So I'm not getting reimbursed for that. If I went full advertisement, I think that would be crossing a line. I'm glad you like sweetness. It's one of those things. I don't know what made me think to start using it. I've used it off and on in my life, but I kind of latched onto it for the audios, and I never looked back. So, oh my gosh, some of these questions I don't really know what to answer. Reality is messing with us, and I kind of hate it, but what can we do? Vote. That's my only piece of advice. Buy a body pillow and name it Fans. You sure you shouldn't name it Sweetness? I mean, come on. My kayak is named Sweetness. Thanks to you guys. So, where did sweetness come from? It was just one of many terms of endearment that I had used off and on over the years. Not a big one for me. I actually didn't use it as consistently as like sweetie or honey or things like that. But I've always liked it, and I thought, you know what, this could be a good forum to revive it and make it my own. And I think it worked out, since you guys seem to like it. Mike, how mad would I be? I don't know if mad is the word. Because this is for a good cause, and you know I would never say don't donate to a good cause. That said, let's just let this thing unfold. Let's just see how it goes. So, what's next? I'm not doing Scouting for Girls Heartbeat. No, I sing that in my car on a daily basis anyway, so I'm not. Plus, I can't. That's one of the songs that unless you have that voice, you can't really sing that song. I mean, not in a way that does it any justice. And yeah, but I do every day when I'm in my car. That comes up on my playlist and I sing it. It just cheers me right up. Even though it gets stuck in my head for the rest of my life, I'll take that. Of all the songs to be stuck in your head, there are worse ones. What's your view on Dr. Pepper? I do enjoy Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper. But it's very sweet. So like Diet Coke, I can shotgun those. Like I can have 7 or 8 a day. But Dr. Pepper, after I've had one, I'm kind of good on Dr. Pepper, like that was good. Now let's go back to Diet Coke kind of thing. But it's not bad. I've got a friend who drinks regular Dr. Pepper, and she lives in Texas, so I think this is required of her. But she'll drink, 7 or 8 of those a day. And I don't know how she does it, because they're the full sugar kind. Like, that's just, yikes, that's a lot of sugar. But, yeah, her blood is probably Dr. Pepper. But again, Texas, so. What else? What about Moxie? Is Moxie a drink? What is Moxie? I need splainin'. What color is my khaki? Or do you mean kayak? My kayak's like a neon green with blue accents on it. What color is my khaki? Would probably be khaki, though. I think that is the color. Let's see. 7 or 8, yeah. I might have a problem with Diet Coke. By problem, I mean I'm not actually going to do anything about it. I like it. How dare you assume that Pepsi Max is better than normal Pepsi? I don't like Pepsi products in general. And I know that's a personal preference thing, and I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. But in my own experience, Pepsi products are very sweet and they go flat very quickly. And I like bubbles that last, because I will nurse a Diet Coke for like an hour. So if it goes flat too quickly, I can't finish it. Would I be able to drink a keg of Diet Coke? Over time, maybe. Yes, I know diet is worse. Well, it's relative. Diet is not worse in the sense that, I mean, they're all bad. They're all bad for you. Diet doesn't have sugar in it, so there's that, and sugar is, lights up the parts of your brain that cocaine lights up, so I'm missing out on that. But I know that artificial sweeteners have an impact on your gut flora and things like that, which impact everything else, and I know it's not good for me, but as far as not good for me drinks, it's probably one of the least not good for me ones. And the caffeine, I'm sure, is not good for me, but I can't really live without it, so it's fine. Let's see. How many chocolate cakes in a triple chocolate rainbow smell of strawberry? It helps if your questions, make sense. Not Sam. I did just insult Pepsi, but not so much an insult as a personal preference. Again, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. If you like Pepsi, please enjoy Pepsi. I have friends who swear by Pepsi and that's all they drink, and more power to them. I just personally prefer the Coke family, specifically the diet. My video upload queue at the moment, like which ones are coming up. Well, after this live stream, I'll activate Vampire Roommate bonus content and Death Epilogue, so you guys get those too. Tomorrow is the next part of the Tsundere Mermaid. Later this week, we've got a cute little shy one. Of course, myth alignments are always on Saturdays. And then next week, we pick up with some more of the series that are ongoing. So you can kind of get a feel for, I try to do one a month on the series. Sometimes I have to skip one and pick it up the next month because, there's just not a lot of time and I've got a lot of series going, but I try. So that's the rough schedule. Let's see. I am not a child who's done something naughty. I am proud of my soda habit. Ish. I'm proud-ish of my soda habit. Yeah, I've heard diet leaves a bitter aftertaste. It was helpful for me when I was in high school because I was the only one of my friends who drank diet. And if we were all out doing something together and somebody would be like, oh, let me have a sip of your drink. And I'd say, oh, but it's diet. And they'd be like, ew, I'm not drinking that. And I got my drink to myself every time. So, but I was raised on Diet Coke. That was my dad's drink of choice. So, yeah, and I don't drink coffee or tea. I've been known to drink coffee if I put a lot of sugar and cream in it. But at that point, it's just, not even coffee. And then tea, I just can't get past the flavor of the tea. I have green tea with like lemon and honey that if I add extra lemon and honey to is not so bad. So if like I have a sore throat or something, I'll drink that. But yeah, in general, coffee and tea, they need too much work to taste not like what they are in order for me to enjoy them, which seems like, not the point. So, Sean, don't be late for work, man. Go to work. If I were to go on vacation, would I prefer a hot or cold place? In general, I prefer to be warm. I don't like being cold. I never have. I grew up in the Midwest. We had 3 feet of snow some winters. We had, ice storms, things like that. And I never acclimated to it, even though I grew up there. I remember getting out of my car and just shaking with the cold. Even if I had, 5 or 6 layers on, I could not get past it. So yeah, I always prefer warmth. That said, I don't mind visiting places that are colder or cooler, as long as I have, the gear I need and I can go home. I live in Florida, but I live in like the part of Florida that actually gets cold in the winter. So, we get frost on the grass sometimes. We get, like I said, I've had to wear my warm hat and my scarf up until like last week. So, at least in the early mornings, walking the dogs. So, yeah, visiting I can go just about anywhere. I don't have any aspirations to visit, say, Canada in the winter, things like that. I don't want to go someplace where it's extraordinarily cold and, the air hurts your face and things like that. But I can be flexible. Let's see. Water is the best. Yeah, you know what? I do drink water at the gym. When I go to the gym, I do drink water. What would Laurel consider shinies? Shinies for Laurel are coins, buttons, shiny rocks, little bits of metal like thimbles. And if you Google it, this is something fairies really like. And this gets back to my research. Fairies very much like small shiny things. So in my head, that was just little bits and bobs of everything. When I made the sound for that, it was a sock. And I filled the sock with a handful of coins, a handful of tumbled rocks, some buttons, some beads, and I think a couple of safety pins and things like that. And then I tied off the sock and shook it. And that's how I made the shiny noise. Favorite superheroes? Like any universe? Or are we talking specific universes here? like narrow me down because I got a lot of them. That's my favorite series to make at the moment. That's a good question. I mean, I always like Vampire Roommate. It's fun, even though it's kind of going down a spiral of intrigue. It's still fun. I like the post-apocalyptic scavenger, Trin. I like her a lot, and not just because she has a cat. I just like her. I like her universe. I like the life that she's in, and she's an interesting character because she's got this weird thing going on where she's had to sort of make a life for herself and survive in this very unhospitable environment, and she's done it, but she also has to live with this constant understanding that today may be the last day. She may not find enough to eat or drink tomorrow. She may not be able to make it, and so the constant specter of mortality sort of hanging over her, and it's her still managing to not just be positive but keep a pet and sort of that level of optimism. I like it. I like that she lives with that sort of darkness, but she keeps on because she doesn't really know any other way to be. And I think that's relatable. I think a lot of us, when we're dealing with something in life, you push through not because necessarily you know how, but because you don't have a choice. You push through because you do. And, giving up isn't really an option. And so you just kind of keep fighting until you don't have any more fight left. And you never quite reach that point. You've always got some fight left. So that's how I think of her. And I like her. I like her because she can do all that and still not be super negative or heavy about it. She's just living her life and doing the best she can with a really crappy situation. What else we got? I think we should wrap this up here pretty soon because I did say I wanted to cap this at like 5 o'clock, which is 4 minutes away. Let's check our little leaderboard. Wow. God, you guys. Aw. $1,567. That's incredible. Nope, I'm not going to cry. You're not going to make me cry. I'm not going to let you do it. All right. Okay. All right, I'm okay. Drink Arnold Palmer. I don't drink Arnold Palmers. They have tea in them. I just got done telling you. Although that probably would be the kind of tea I could drink. Anyone else watching from London? Hey, is anyone watching from London? Say "ope" one time to soothe my Michigan heart. I was from the southern part of the Midwest. We didn't really say that. What did we say? I don't think we had a regional phrase or anything. We're kind of boring. How many cases of Diet Coke do you go through a week? Several. I mean, I catch it when it's on sale and I stock up. Let's see. Thanks. I like that you think I'm adorable. I guess. What would you ask for if a djinn gave you 3 wishes? And I assume no wishing for more wishes? I would probably ask for things that would end world hunger and, things like that, but I would have to be very careful, of course, in wording those. So I will have to give that some thought and maybe get back to you on that and or even do an audio about it maybe. And if you'd like a great story, speaking of short stories, about Jinn, Google Jinn No Chaser. It's an amazing story. It's hilarious. It's exactly the sort of twist on a genie story that you'd probably really like. What's your favorite childhood memory? Do people have just one? I mean, there's little snippets of memories that, I like. There was this bakery in my town that made birthday cakes and things, and their icing was like 90% sugar. I mean, it was almost grainy. It was so sweet, and I loved it. And when we'd get a birthday cake from there, I would scrape some of the icing off my cake, and I would mix it with my ice cream and make this like melty, sweet monstrosity, and it was so good. And I'm probably thinking of that because my birthday is later this week, but I don't even know if that bakery still exists. I haven't been back in a while, but that was like the memory of that flavor kind of makes me think of childhood. Like that's something that just when I think of being a kid, I think of the taste of that icing mixed with ice cream. Favorite Pokemon? I said it was Spoink. Pokemon Spoink is my guy. I do not have Pokemon Sword and Shield. Nope. I don't read any manga. Well, I don't read much manga. I've got a couple, but I haven't really read them. When does the stream end? Pretty much now. But I'll answer a couple more. My favorite My Hero character is Aizawa because I so relate. Like I would love to just be in my sleeping bag all day and not deal with people. The Alien series probably will not come back because I really like how I ended it. I mean, never say never, because obviously I've brought back things I thought were dead. But like the Blizzard couple, I didn't anticipate bringing them back, but I did. That was something that somebody requested and had a good idea for, so I ran with it. You guys heard of Aladdin? Yes, we've heard of Aladdin. Definitely. I love Aladdin. It's a good movie. The channel name came from, the channel name came from the fact that I think cities should have protector guardian spirits just like nature does, which is, that's what the nymphs were. And because I'm a city person, and that's just where it came from. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the happy birthdays. I appreciate it. Okay. Last question. How's life treating me? Pretty good. Can't complain. I am doing a live stream where you guys just raised a ridiculous amount of money for an incredibly good cause. Oh, thanks for evening it out, whoever did that. Oh, my OCD brain is so grateful. $1,600, you guys. You guys raised $1,600 for Doctors Without Borders today. And that is amazing. You are wonderful. You are absolutely wonderful people, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you listen. I'm so grateful that you subscribe, and I'm so grateful that you participated today and supported this cause and made such a difference, because it will make such a difference for the people who need it most. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm not going to cry, I promise. Okay. On that note, I'm going to wrap this up so that I can go put the bonus content live. And then at the end of the day, after we're done running the campaign, because I'll just let it run for the rest of the day, then I will pick a winner for the Discord call. And we will set up a time to do that. So thank you all again so much. I love you more than I could ever say. I'm so grateful for you. And nope, not going to do it. Not going to cry. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you. Thank you again. And I will talk to you soon.